I'm here. Sorry, I was quiet for a moment there, just sending out a notifications. And then we should all be good. Gucci. I assume you can hear me now. I hope you're doing well. I know I was talking to you a bit earlier today. This opening theme is very good. Okay. There we are. At least OBS tells me my voice is picking up, so I'm gonna assume that we're doing good. So last week we were working on Rise from the Ashes. Oh my. Rise from the Ashes would be a very different case than this. Yeah, working on the edits you need to get sent out by tomorrow morning. Well, I hope that your edits go well, and that all of them are all set by tomorrow morning. Alright, so the last time we were here, we were working on the latter portion of the final day of the final trial of the first game in the series. I suspect we will actually finish this tonight, and we'll start up on the next one. Oh, hi to Lala, and like Son, you're here to watch the gay boys exonerate the sisters and destroy Gant emotionally and psychologically. Oh, well, hopefully we can do that tonight, like Son. Gant has been a real pain in the butt, so let's see if we can give him a taste of his own medicine. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. Oh, hi, Gumshoe. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe? I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office! Please, yes, come work for me. I will happily accept you into my office. Yes. Our position as assistant is open and ready. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Gumshoe wants to be the new Maya. Still. Awesome. Yeah, please. Please, yes, I agree. .com. This would be very awesome. Looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How's it he always gets the upper hand? You miss Maya? Me too. Okay, but he has to wear the outfit. Honestly, I would pay to play a Gumshoe spin-off. I really would. It's not fair that he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. He could be our private investigator. He could. We'd have our own little private investigator. That'd be wonderful. But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks. What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Hey, Emma, welcome back. Yeah, I hope you're doing okay. It's probably been a hell of a day for you. Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the child from the gallery. Oh, you heard everything Gant said, then. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean, to follow Chief Gant's orders? She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. We live in a society. Oh my god. Gumshoe, you're a few years early with that joke, buddy. And yes, acknowledging the trauma is the first step to treating it, and that does sound really familiar, Gumshoe. It really does. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. You want to scream for Emma? Yeah, me too, buddy. Let's go, right? It's time to end this. P5 changed a lot near the end of Royal. Hi, Glebov. I am still at my parents' house, and my PS4 is at my apartment. So we are doubling up on Ace Attorney while I'm down here. Hope you guys don't mind. We'll deal with we'll deal with the Okumura situation next weekend. Just teasing. Oh yeah, here's all the new. Yeah, Ketchy does look a little different. He dyed his hair, I think. Oh, I right and by missed the to be continued last time. Whoops. Oh well. We are now in Trial Ladder 2. How many trial ladders are there gonna be? February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 9. Now then. Will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? I'm pretty sure that artwork already exists somewhere out there like its own. I know of at least one person, aside from myself, who has made a Persona Ace Attorney AU. And I have also made a Persona Ace Attorney AU. Though I have not published that outside of like Discord at the moment. Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm not even going to ask this time for someone to actually tell me their name and occupation. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. Miles, sick of this shit, Edgeworth. He really is at this point. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Ooh, Ooh. Now then, your testimony, if you will. Like being under oath means anything in this series. That's true. Witnesses, like, commit perjury so often you would think that it's not actually a crime. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. It's true. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. It's perjury when it's convenient to the plot. Yeah. Just like it's forgery when it's convenient to the plot. Also, apparently involuntary manslaughter isn't a thing in the Ace Attorney universe. You know, I have to actually look up if there is manslaughter in Japanese, like, criminal law. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Okay, that's the question we really have. Is, if Lana is supposedly telling the truth, and she rearranged the crime scene, how did she do it, then? Gant and the Fabrication, the hottest bubblegum pop group in fictional 2016. Oh god. I want to make that a fake band name in a game I'm running at some point. My only motivation was to get Drake convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Did it now? Did it really? Yeah, manslaughter exists, but bear in mind this is parodying a court with a 99% conviction rate. So maybe in the real world, it would be manslaughter on Emma's case, but, like, in the game, they're trying to make everything extreme. You're probably right. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana... If this is true, then it means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. Yeah, like Edgeworth would have been convicted of murder as a way to say this is the direction the system is going in. The fact that a game that released nearly, 15 years later had similar things to say about the same court system is a little bit depressing, if I'm being honest. Made a discovery that you need to share, and all of you with smart bones need to join you in it. A multiple trading card game called CUE or Q. But what if she is telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The gimmick of that card game is that the cards are real things, any real thing, and you pulled an EpiPen card? Intriguing. That's a very interesting concept, I gotta admit, buddy. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Alright, I want to hear more about... Let me do our usual strat. Oh, a digital card game that actually has trading is rather impressive. Most of them are, built off of the digital gachapon system, basically. Alright, so how did you rearrange the crime scene? You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award's knife was stuck in the victim's body. And yet that is not what the screen is showing, which is, sus. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. Oh, then what really happened? Trading needs to be in everything, definitely, in terms of digital trading card games and gachas. I agree completely. It would make everything a lot more user-friendly, but the problem is they'd probably open up the market for a lot of real-world trading, where people would just make accounts en masse to re-roll for good units or cards, and then sell those to other people. It would kind of be really easy to do that. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? That is true. People already sell stuff for money, as is. The thing is, it would be easier to sell something in a trading system than it would be to sell accounts, is my point. Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away when the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife and planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. Alright, tell me more about that. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the wound, and then you moved the body. But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad. Maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others? Why did you move the body? I mean, planting the knife I get to falsify the murder weapon that was used. The cards can't be sold back for real money, though they can be bought for it. Okay, that makes sense. And now my real question is for the game we are playing right now. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Ganth's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Skye moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. So the unstable jar was in fact broken. But when? Pieces of the jar. You mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Drake committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was all ready. Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. I almost called him Drake. His name is Dark, not Drake. In other words, the jar must have broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. Why would Gant take away a single piece, though? One singular piece. Oh, we'll get to that. So here's the thing, Emma is right here. If the jar was shattered at the time the crime was committed, how would someone have written a message onto the broken pieces? But I have a feeling it's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. Yeah, no, I don't believe you. Not for a second. I think that the problem is that if the jar has writing on it that's only visible when it's intact, then it's highly unlikely that you or someone else wrote on it once it was broken into pieces. That's not how this works. Sorry, Lana. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene with where Neil Marshall was murdered. If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring everyone's attention to a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony. You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that had shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in its final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. Lana has been lying very sloppily. In order for the victim to write the message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Ooh. Order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical. Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we are headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Ooh. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Yeah, there's still a problem. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. This jar has a bloody message, has the extra meaning if you headcanon Edgeworth is sounding British? Really? Oh, a bloody message. Yeah, I see. Why would she need to wipe away the blood if she didn't know it was a message? Yeah? She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Yeah, no, you didn't get them all. That's the big, contradiction here. It's the jar, again, isn't it? Because this jar and the blue badger shape that it is really the truth behind everything here, isn't it? The fragments were large, so you're sure you got them all. You did not. You totally did not. Look at this. There is a huge fragment here that has the letter still clear on it. And it was in Gant's safe. How do you explain that? Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth that you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. Yes, that one. That guy, Gant. In the chief's safe. But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the crime scene. Gant has falsified evidence in this case twice. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking up for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ah, could you believe that? Gant is a piece of work indeed. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. The judge, did the equivalent of my glasses are on my face, but I don't know where they are. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No. Wow. The judge is, the judge is in a mood. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Is the judge implicated now? Who knows? It's quite possible. You're so lost. I mean, we know the judge is friends with Gant, so it would be very unpleasant for your friend Gant to be like, accused of murder while you're in court, and you know nothing of this guy being, anything of the sort. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is that action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Alana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. The judge was Gant's first boyfriend before Gant dumped him for Von Trauma. Wow, Lycosone, you're really getting into the shipping aspect of this. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence incriminating Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. Oh, ooh, no, sweetie. She bit her finger so hard that it bled. Oh no, ow. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to perfect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Huh? Wait a minute. What if... we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Yeah, ironic that she says that he's a liar this whole time. Also, yes, Phoenix does bluff a lot, but he's not directly a liar. We are Phoenix. We really are. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. Emma's a sweetie, yeah. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Oh boy. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. All right, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor's sword. Finally. Please, Lana, tell the truth. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Oh my god, we have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. In the evidence booklet? Present the picture. Probably either the evidence... The evidence booklet was this morning. Actually, you know, there was something else she gave us. The evidence law book. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Let's see. Oh shit. She slipped it in the law book. Hey, there's a picture here. Jeez. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Oh shit indeed. Lana's picture inserted into the court record. Mr. Wright? That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? She took the picture for posterity. This is a handprint, isn't it? Yeah. That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints are on those must be the real murderer. No, that's a trap. It's not that. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. May we? Actual crime scene. Hi, you're not allowed to be here. Get out. We're busy convicting you. Oh well. You finished this case already, but man, that picture looks real sus. No, go away, Gant. Come now, Aji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. Ooh. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Oh my god, Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Oh my god, Edgy! Sir! Wow, he really does have the energy of a retail worker who just put in his 2 weeks notice. Like, what are you going to do, Chief Gant? Fire me? Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Also, yeah, the death penalty in Ace Attorney and in Japan is hanging. Which is, you know what, I'd make some statement on that, but I honestly don't think there's a humane way to kill someone, so... Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? What? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Ah, yes, definitely. No doubt. Someone touched his shirt. The horror. Is this true, Mr. Wright? Do I? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. Yeah, okay. Inquire away, bitch. I ain't presenting shit. What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the choice that gets you the bad ending if you make the wrong decision. though it's more of a game over in Ace Attorney 1 than a bad ending. In Justice for All, you can get an actual, like, really bad ending. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? No. 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 Your Honor, I don't have any evidence that I can present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Gant, you opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, at this time. Unfortunately, there's a translation error in the second game's bad ending that kills the mood. Yeah, it does make it slightly humorous, honestly. I've seen the translation error. I'm not sure if it's corrected in the HD edition. God, I hope so. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? And how do you know whose fingerprints are on it? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest. Notice anything odd about the chest area. And how does Gant know? Yeah, how does Gant know all of this shit? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. God, if only, eh? Grade A, Nick bluffing. Oh, Judge, we wish. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? What? I was the first person to arrive on the crime scene that day. It occurred to me then that I could use the situation to control Lana. Did you just implicate yourself for Goodman's murder, dude? Are you stupid? You might be a little stupid. So you really were manipulating her? I knew, Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister... How much of yourself are you gonna implicate, man? You're doing my job for me. Then, when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. None of this is Gant making a statement, by the way. No, yeah, none of this is cross-examinable. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. They can't legally use this if... 2 pieces of evidence. You mean the items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See that jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana. to go and wipe the blood off of all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence... Yeah, his goal here is to be arrested for messing with the scene, but not for 2 murders. What's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar? Ho ho ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. Oh, no. Computer, what are you doing? No. Is the stream down? Did the stream go down? Error overloaded. God. Why? I'm sorry. You're back now? I'm so sorry. My computer did that thing again where it tried to shut itself down for no good reason, and I just missed a line of dialogue because of it, and that pisses me off. It shut off for like a second, it just stalled. Okay, Jesus Christ, I was worried. That took like a few seconds to get back up. You can still hear me? We're not out of sync or anything? Ugh, honestly. Sometimes my computer really ticks me off. Okay. We're good. The music sounds right. My voice sounds right. Okay. We're fine. Phoenix is like ... because my computer made him mishear something. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth that you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence that you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. We gotta show evidence. Present the book, please. No, we gotta show the cloth first. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Evidence law, baby. Yeah, we're fine. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall is, well... You know, we gotta do it. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out the piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requested immediately be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Edgeworth, please, slow down. Slow down, Sweet Pea. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Righto had all this time to present the evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already knew? You already know whose fingerprints are on that. Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever's fingerprints belong to the real... Whoever these fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Oh no. Very well, I'll tell you. Oh no, no. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom the fingerprints belong is... Emma Skye. Emma. Emma Sky. What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Well, you know, I figured you might overreact. Oh, you're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and yet you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. Let the man finish, Jesus. No one's allowed to finish their sentence in this case. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue. Aren't you going to tell us all how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves that who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool blabbling about? Blabbling? That's not a word. I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Yes, King, indeed. Behold the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Well, if we take a look at this, we can see that there's definitely something wrong here. The piece of cloth would have had to have been removed before Neil Marshall was stabbed. Because let's look at our lovely good old forensic science friend, blood splatter. There is no blood splatter on the piece that has the fingerprints on it that was cut out from his vest. However, there is blood splatter on the shirt underneath where the vest would have been covering if he was stabbed while he was wearing that piece of cloth. Checkmate, Gant. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured, so blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. It's clean. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah. Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled at the sword on that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. I love this theme. Cornered is such good music. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. To make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted to only moments ago. That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through that very act of creating insurance. You proved that you were the actual murderer. Yeah, the Wrightworth teamwork in this case is real good. No. Ooh. It's finally all over. Is it? Oh, he looks so desperate right now, doesn't he? His hair has gone all limp and jealous. Oh, that was close, Righto. You almost had me. Please, sir, just let it end. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute all your allegations. What do you mean, you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. I will throw the fricking book in your face. Order, order. What nonsense is that? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, oh my god, the phone is ringing. One sec. I'm sorry. The phone decided it was now is the time that it must ring. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Sorry. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this moment in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Oh, did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it, that you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? That smug look on his face is quite nice indeed. I did not purposefully and illegally conceal this piece of cloth. I did it on purpose. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. That's not what I said. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Aji. Don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward you can't really believe.
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, do so now.
Yes, I am going to literally throw the book at him. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside of your safe. It goes without saying I did not get approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Sorry, but can you recall? When was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
This is why we don't need to worry about the rest of the series. Yeah, we're gonna be fine. Nothing bad could ever happen.
No.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh, you meant evidence law. No, we're gonna have to worry about evidence law again, I'm sure.
There's no way that won't come up another time.
Oh, yes. No.
It was then that you approved of this cloth as conclusive evidence.
Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you.
No.
Ooh, I got to do the evil laugh. That was fun.
I knew I should have gotten rid of him.
This breakdown is so good. I agree. It gives me an excuse to do an evil laugh. He laughed a lot.
That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around in the department, trying to get something good on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
You killed his brother. I think he has reason to be mad about it.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman! Oh, that guy you totally also killed. Full heel-face turn for Deputy Marshal here. Yeah, honestly. Jake just wanted to figure out what happened to his brother at any cost, and I understand.
Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find the truth.
Now we know why Technicolor Dusty loves Marshall. He did his best.
Please, you've gotta help me.
We did help him.
Goodman turned us down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room.
Oh. You'll remember, chat, back when we were in the evidence room the first time, on the second day of this case, when we were investigating the whole Jake Marshall and Meekins situation, there was a massive pool of blood in the back of the evidence room, after which Bruce Goodman's fingerprint locker was open. So once Gant is gone, can we please unfire some people? I sincerely hope so, because Gumshoe and Edgeworth deserve to keep their jobs.
Then, all of a sudden, he decided to speak out.
Oh shit, this is why he died.
What are you talking about, Goodman?
Could you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking evidence out, he said,
"It's not too late. I'm gonna hand all of this over to Marshall." And that's why he killed him.
Well, to be honest, I was taken a bit aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife.
And you stabbed him.
Yeah, Gumshoe, Edgeworth, Marshall, and yes, Angel Starr.
All of them deserve their positions back. They really do.
I just couldn't pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Then you put the body in my car.
I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other way to move the body.
You know, you could have gotten Edgeworth convicted of murder over that, dude.
Excuse me?
You're sorry. You killed someone.
I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will.
You still broke my car. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Sky involved with all of this?
Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
That's not the point, Gant. Yeah, sorry I casually almost got you convicted of murder. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker?
I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So, you left the jar fragments and the glove.
Yeah, I did. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer.
Real shame you had to kill two people, you know? You could have been fine. You didn't have to do this. He felt bad is the only part of this you don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe either. Why would he suddenly feel remorse after everything he's done to try to save his own skin at the cost of everyone around him? He only feels bad because he got caught.
They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay, which is why I ruined the careers of everyone involved.
He's a manipulative son of a bitch. It's just a ploy for sympathy, indeed.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same.
Mr. Gant, I will throw this evidence book at you.
One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
Don't you fucking dare compare him to... Wow. Gant is so infuriating that he got chat cursing at him. Who says he's alone? He isn't.
Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, and an example to others in the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person.
Oh, the judge is a little savage today, too, to be honest.
Those days are gone now, Aji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here, and Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning.
There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes?
So is Judge just this guy's name? Maybe it's his last name. You know, there are people whose last name is Judge. Like Aaron Judge, he plays for the Yankees. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky? You no longer have any reason to keep silent. Yeah, the payoff to this is really good, though the case is massive. Like, absolutely massive. It's taken us, I think, 12 to 16 hours? You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From that time, I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all of your trouble. My. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Oh. She smiled. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Gosh, that does feel really good after all of this. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing.
Liar. The fact that Phoenix has been able to clear every one of his clients on all charges is incredible. Yeah, it is true. I was worried that the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Aww. And you could say he rose from the ashes, couldn't you?
Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is, you still acted as an accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this?
The same consideration will be done with the evidence faking. She was under duress for all of this, so... while she's guilty, I can't imagine her sentence would be as severe. It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already.
The judge broke the fourth wall a little bit there, I think.
Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
It isn't murder, that's for sure. Not guilty. We did it. We made it.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Well then. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. In this series, she will be fine. Oh yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be far less severe than what could have happened to her. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. She did smile at both of them. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Oh, Gumshoe, you're always interrupting something, buddy. Oh, yes I am. We love you, Gumshoe, but you are always interrupting things.
I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty, and to top it all off, you come to call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pal. I'm only kidding.
You are kidding, I hope. Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Oh, Gumshoe, thank you. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. Sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy. Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back, and now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Oh. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Oh, you're not crying, your eyes are sweating. Oh, guys. Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path, and it's from there that we can move towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? They even put a warm, hazy filter over the image. They did. Gummy's bending the rules to allow that. He is a good boy. Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Edgeworth tried to vanish behind the plants. Where was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Edgeworth, no. Please celebrate with us. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. I really hope he doesn't blame himself. He's gonna blame himself, isn't he? He is blaming himself. No. No! No! This line! Oh no! It's too late for me. Oh no. That sounds so final. No matter what anyone may say. Oh no.
I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth. You hate it when the self-blame music comes in. Oh, it's here. It's fine. We've got to set up Edgeworth's next arc. I'm so excited for seeing him again. I'm sure he's fine. It's fine.
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals, I can feel it. You and me, we're the same.
This might get me. I am really close to crying here.
One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to eradicating them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that has to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? He doesn't. Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. Oh god, okay, show him what Lana is talking about. Evidence, huh? I would show you, my attorney's bag. Lana is trying to be a wingman right here, isn't she? Well, it should be something that neither Edgeworth or I would have been able to find on our own. Half of the evidence list was from Gant's desk, and half of the evidence list came from Edgeworth, didn't it? That's the picture I drew, and now I'm sorry, all the appliances in my house are trying to fight me, I think. One sec. First the phone rings in the middle of this, now the dishwasher goes off. What's next? Is the fire alarm gonna start ringing in the middle of this? At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised. Our counterattack began with this. It's so sappy and sweet and perfect. Yeah, you're start banging on my window, please don't. Like, I have experienced enough interruptions tonight from outside sources that I cannot control. And I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. You can't hear— I know you can't hear it, but it's very loud and high-pitched and annoying. So it doesn't have to bother anyone else, as long as it bothers me. You know? I still want to turn the sound off because it's really loud. Even if my mic is good enough to not pick it up, it's a personal matter of annoyance. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Shit. Shit. Mr. Edgeworth. My microphone is very good, it is. I mean, that sound was on this floor, and it doesn't pick up on it, which is nice. It doesn't pick up on my neighbors, it doesn't pick up on other people making noise in the kitchen, I hope. It doesn't pick up on the sound of the dishwasher. I'm pretty sure it probably picked up on the phone ringing, but that's only because the receiver is very close to where I'm sitting right now. We have saddled Edgeworth with unnecessary feelings. If you'll excuse me, you didn't hear the phone? I'm in shock if the phone ring didn't come through. Maybe my hearing is better than I suspect. There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can't let whatever, you can let ever, oh god, what, this sentence is hurting. You can let whatever happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe my thanks to you too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Didn't hear the phone at all. It's supersonic hearing. Yeah, I'm just like a mutant or something from the X-Men. I can hear every sound. No, I actually think I'm just generally relatively sensitive to noise, more so than most people. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. Very concerningly, Edgeworth never indicated that he was going to come back or be fine. He just said that he needs to figure or face this on his own. He never implied that he's going to stay a prosecutor, and it didn't seem like he'd fully dealt with what he was feeling. So, expect it to come up again. Hypothetically, would you help us move a pipe organ to Edgeworth's office? Please, we're taking Gant's pipe organ. It's not his anymore. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Oh my god, is this Scientific Investigation, the textbook? Scientific Investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. Thank you, Lana. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own, as will we, chat. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go tricking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. Edgeworth was the last one to show up. He was. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard over there in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Is it that easy? Because that seems way too easy. But thank you, Gumshoe.
Believe me, it wasn't cheap either.
Huh? Way to go, Detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the bill.
Huh?
What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
And now we get the credits, as Phoenix desperately tries to protect his, money. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Best continue the noodle business, Phoenix, indeed. Phoenix keeps getting saddled with paying for things. He really does. How is he ever going to, how is he ever going to pay the bills? How does he keep his, office?
Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation at the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily.
Edgeworth pays, duh. Please, Edgeworth, we need you to pay. Lana was sweet. I hope that when she serves her time, she can be like a private investigator. That would be nice. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm gonna make a detective. Yes, sir! Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe! You want a spin-off where Lana and Emma go investigating together? That would be so nice. Lana and Emma investigations. I would play that. I would definitely play that. I do quite like this case. Oh, hi, Blue Badger. I don't have to click on anything, do I? Oh no, he fell over. You don't trust Meekins if you're the detective? Yeah, Meekins is trying. He's trying. He's not very good at this.
What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Starr managed to sneak this one to me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Could you make sure Billy and the gang get their water?
Of course, Marshall. We will water your cactuses for you. Or your cacti. They will be taken care of. Why does everyone in this universe eat steak for lunch? Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer takes bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer's as sweet as victory. Kids seem to take the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Who knows? The Badger will come up again. We have not seen the last of the Blue Badger.
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing, something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get through, so I'd better be. Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, I gotta go.
Bye, Judge. The judge is still very out of it. The spin-offs made you scared of the Badger. The Badger gets creepy later in this series. It really does. Who's next?
Maya! Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick.
At least we're still in contact with her, telling her about this very long, but in the end rather satisfying spaghetti mess of a case that we just solved. I don't think it's my least favorite. I like it. It's not my favorite final case, though. My favorite for a long time, and I think it might still be, is the last case in the game we're about to start up once this credits sequence finishes. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, it's you. Mr. Edgeworth, I brought your tea. Huh? What's going on? There's a note. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, 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 I forgot about that one! We're doing justice for all, yeah we are! Oh no, the note! Oh no! Oh god!
Thanks for coming to see us off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open up this book.
You're reminded, now you're upset. Is there a picture of Lana in the book? Because I'm really upset about what I just saw. Or didn't see. Oh. And they're gonna show us a really cute picture of Lana and Emma to make me feel less terrible. That's so sweet. Look at them. I don't know whether to cry about the note or about this. What's the note? Rise from the ashes, achievement unlocked. We've done it, chat. We won. This really hurts with the knowledge of the next game. It does. We have defeated Ace Attorney 1.